Yeah.
Hi, I'm Wiley.
And I'm Maddie.
And it shouldn't happen again.
Bow, bow, bow. Ew, my drink is hairy.
Me?
Gross. Whose hair? It's probably yours.
Probably mine, yeah. Welcome.
No, leave.
Yeah. We have 15 listens already on the last episode. Cooper said his family had like a listening party.
Oh, but they all listened on different devices, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
They better have.
His mom wants Natalie to come on here and talk about their goose or something. I saw his goose yesterday when I dropped him off at his casa.
Cooper? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, Cooper's
and his brother wants to be on it.
Oh my god, you know how he infiltrated that one friend group with all the seniors? That's what he's trying to do to us.
That is what he's trying to do to us.
That's literally what he's doing.
Yeah. We're almost at 600 plays, so everybody go listen to one of the episodes one more time.
Aiden, I'm looking at you, bud.
60 seconds of it. Only 60 seconds. You can even drag the play button for more than 60 seconds, and it'll count it. Aiden.
Aiden won't tell us his thoughts on giant anteaters. So if you're listening to this, please comment what you think about giant anteaters down below.
Please, and we'll publish your comment so you'll be famous.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
as long as it's the right opinion.
Yeah. Guess. It's my week today. And I'm gonna be really, really honest. Oh, I don't have a song. So this week, Maddie's gonna pick my song as I tell her the story. Because
that's kind of a fun idea.
To be honest, I don't even know what this is about. Like, I know what it's about, but like...
Well, what episode is this? It's about time for us to do another episode where we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This will be like 24.
Yeah. But like, I have enough like notes to get it done. So yeah. Since prom season is here, I found a prom night murder. Our prom was a couple weeks ago. Riles sucked. Ignites was fun, except the DJ was bad. And then we have one more. I have one more.
I also have one more.
Yeah. Look at us.
This weekend.
Oh, mine's next weekend. But yeah. So, people, let me just set the scene for you. People at the Olive Branch Church were patiently waiting for their service to begin on April 30th, 1989.
At the Olive Garden?
Olive Branch Church.
So, like, are we going to Olive Garden?
Remember when we went to Olive Garden? That was cute. We had a date.
Yeah, we did.
But it wasn't 1989. Taylor wasn't born yet, though.
No, that was December.
But the Reverend at the Olive Garden Church never showed. His name was Robert Pelley. So his family was also absent from like their you know how like the Reverend has like a pew for his family? Yeah, they weren't there at their pew.
Oh no.
So they walk next door to go check on the family, like, because I guess they live by the church, and the churchgoers found the pastor and his wife and their 2 daughters inside. But the bad thing is they were lying in a pool of their own blood.
Happened.
So womp womp. So
sucks.
the Indiana State Police immediately noted that there was one person missing. The Reverend's son, who was supposedly troubled, who was 17 years old, Jeff Pelley. So he was gone. And just 3 weeks prior, the son had been arrested for burglary, and had been forbidden by his father to not go to his senior prom as like a punishment, which I feel like he went to jail. Like, yeah. But to police, they were like, this is a motive. And our number one suspect is Jeff Pelley. The
peeler.
The peeler. Yeah, the peeler. And he's a troubled son. So police began looking for him and ended up tracking him down at an amusement park the next day because he was just, yeah, he was just partying.
Don't worry, I'm promoting right now. I'm not just being stupid.
No, you're fine. I didn't know how to word that. But then they found out that he was in his finest suit and had partied carelessly with his friends at prom the evening before. So while his family was getting murdered, he was partying.
Me.
uh-oh, watch out. So he was eventually like charged and convicted for the murders of his family, but nobody knows, like, everybody was like, did he really do it? Because like there wasn't a lot of evidence at first. But this is his story. That's the article said. So you wrote that in there because I thought it was really dramatic and cringe. So
yeah.
Robert Jeffrey Pelley was born on December 10th, 1971. And he came from a religious family. His mother and father met at Mount Vernon Nazarene University in Ohio in the 1960s, and they were married in 1970 and had their son Jeff Pelley at 1971. And then his younger sister was born in 1967, and her name was Jackie. And while his father's primary focus was his faith, the man landed a lucrative computer programming job in 1980. So the job had given them the opportunity to go to Cape Coral, Florida, where Ava Pelley, the mom, was diagnosed with skin cancer in 1984. So she ended up dying following February because she didn't want any treatment. So she did. And then within months of her passing, Robert Pelley met another woman named Dawn Huber, which is weird because we did a case on Denise Huber.
Oh, it's like real.
Yeah, but not the same person, not related. And the 27-year-old had recently lost a spouse herself, and they quickly fell in love. They were down bad for each other, crying at the gym. And so they married very, very fast in November of 1985, and Jeff and Jackie met their new stepsisters shortly afterwards. They didn't even meet their like step siblings before they were step siblings. So blending with Huber's 3 daughters, 5-year-old Jessica, 4-year-old Janelle, and 2-year-old Jolene, the newly formed family moved to Lakeville, Indiana in 1986. So Robert Pelley led a congregation of up to 50 people at the Olive Branch Church. And that was like how they came to this part where, you know, they're murdered. But at home, it was not as peaceful as people in the church thought it was to be. So this is a quote from Indiana State Police Detective Mark Center. And he states, "I know there was a lot of angst in the family between him and his dad, between Robert and Jeff. I know there was a situation where Bob punched him one time. So, no bueno.
Get punched, kid."
Yeah. And he said that he thought that the neighbors saw a lot of the same thing as well. But nevertheless, the Pelley family lived quietly in the house next door to the church until early 1989. And then Jeff was arrested for stealing CDs and cash from a local home. So the guy, Mark Center, who I said gave the quote, worked the case where he was arrested for burglary. And Center then again said Bob Pelley grounded Jeff for the burglary case. Hello. So yeah. And then
Don't say so. Yeah, that means you have nothing else to say.
Oh, true. We learned that this morning. I say that all the time. I was thinking about that. I will definitely say. Yeah. But I can talk in paragraphs. Like, you want me to talk in paragraphs? I will talk you in an essay.
We know, honey. You're a yapper.
I am a yapper. I already know what I'm gonna say. Like, I want to just write then and there, be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna say, and he would blown his freaking socks off. His dogs would have been out. Anyway, so being grounded was a big deal to Pelley, whose prom was a 2-day affair that included the dance on Saturday and then a school-sponsored outing to Great America Amusement Park on Sunday, April 30th.
Bro, that's my dream. That's what I'm gonna do.
That is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why they found him at an amusement park the day after his family died. And detectives theorized that Pelley was crushed when his father barred him from attending and then violently lashed out in response. He claimed that Jeff Pelley only attended the prom after shooting his father's stepmom and 2 stepsisters to death. So the crime scene was discovered by a churchgoer, David Hathaway, after the pastor's absence from a Sunday service at 9:30 a.m. So he went knocking on his door, and no one answered it. And then David Hathaway found a key and walked inside. He first saw the pastor's glasses on the floor and then the corpse. So local police found Dawn Pelley, the stepmom, dead, clutching her 2 dead daughters, which is absolutely terrifying. And he sent her, the guy who worked the case again, said no one should have seen what I saw that morning. It did not look like a burglary. It did not look like a home invasion. As a detective, I saw the worst of the worst that morning, but we had a job to do, so we immediately started talking about suspects. So that's really sad and really terrifying. The fact that she was holding her daughters is actually makes me want to sob. But since Jackie, Jessica, and Jeff survived the massacre, investigators were checking their alibis. So those are the other 2 kids and Jeff. Jackie had been out of town visiting a college friend, and Jessica had spent the night at a sleepover. Jeff, however, had been in town and was notably angry with his father. So they believed that he killed his family so he could go to prom. So, police questioned Jeff Pelley at the station in the company of his grandparents after tracking him down at the amusement park. That was April 30th. And when they asked him about his stepmother, he said, we didn't really get along well. I mean, we talked hi-bye type of thing, but we never really talked to each other or anything. I mean, I didn't hate her. We just tolerated each other. Yeah. But without a murder weapon, forensic evidence, or eyewitnesses, the case against Jeff Pelley was quite thin. So the St. Joseph County detective John Botich was solely relying on circumstantial evidence and a timeline of events. He noted that several people had stopped by the Pelley home on Saturday to show off their prom dresses and tuxedos until 5 p.m. So, you know, like he was alive when people were coming to like show off their prom attire. But nobody visited the house after that, and Jeff Pelley's 1984 gray Ford Mustang was gone by 5:30. So it was a very, very small window that the family could have been murdered, and it was very clear that the only person who could have done this is Jeff, and that was said by an assistant district attorney for St. Joseph's County named Frank Schaefer. Schaefer's theory was as follows. After using the family shotgun to kill the 4 victims, Pelley hid the weapon and its shells, and then washed his jeans, took a shower, got dressed, and drove to a friend's house to pick up his date for prom. But there simply was not enough evidence still. Until 2002. And at the time, he was charged with the prom night murders. Like, he was a newfound man. He lived in Florida. He had a family. And he was a consultant for IBM. That could be a good song.
That's the song of the week, Florida.
Song of the week is Florida. But now he faced 4 murder charges. Oh. Yeah. So his trial began in 2006. And prosecutors were relying on the timeline that they made back in 1989.
Oh my God, this is all Taylor Swift. 2006 when her first album came out.
Mm-hmm. It's literally Taylor Swift. Like, this just is Taylor Swift. Mm. The defense deemed it ludicrous. They said, for all indications, the people that were with Jeff that night described him just as to be one of the group. They were having a good time, said defense attorney Alan Baum.
So he killed his family and then went to prom?
Yeah, essentially. But, like, he wasn't charged with it until 2002. Yeah.
And he, like, almost got away with it.
Yeah. But we don't know. So they claim to think that he could have spent the whole night having fun after murdering his family, and he's still just a kid at the time, is preposterous. But jurors found Pelley guilty on all accounts in 2006, and he was sentenced to 160 years, and it was upheld by the Supreme Court in Indiana in 2009. So
that's a lot of years.
Yeah. A few years later, though, Frances Watson of the McKinney Wrongful Covington Clinic filed a motion for post-conviction relief. Her bias for a retrial was the 1989 luminol test of Pelley's washing machine cylinder, which hadn't actually... Oh, that's actually really smart. Which hadn't actually determined whether there had been blood in the laundry or even laundry detergent in the machine to prove whether he tried to clean his clothes that day. She argued that the claim against Pelley that washed his jeans is tainted and unjustly for the jurors at the trial. Furthermore, there was a curious transcript that was never entered into evidence. Prosecutors had interviewed a woman in 2003 named Toni Beeler, who spoke of Robert Pelley's shady financial dealings in Florida. She said that she was scared of being murdered by his yet unidentified clients, but further information regarding these claims have remained exclusive, so nobody knows about them. But as of now, Jeff Pelley remains behind bars for the murder of his 4 family members as a teenager in 1989, and his evidentiary hearing is scheduled for mid-March of 2022, which has already happened, so I guess it didn't go that well. Let me see if he's out of jail.
Wait, so I'm so confused. So, did he not do it?
They don't know, but he's in jail for it. But, his dad was, like, shady. He's been in prison for 18 years. He's maintained his innocence, and his quest for exoneration is now in the hands of Superior Court Judge Stephanie Steele. Last year, Pelley and his attorneys presented evidence that says Pelley wasn't given a fair trial, and namely, Pelley says prosecutors lied when the jurors told him that a pair of blue jeans had been washed in the washing machine at the Pelley house. Pelley's attorney said 37 coins and an legible receipt were found in the jeans, meaning they couldn't have been washed. So if he had blood on these jeans, they would have found the bloody jeans. Pelley's counsel also says that prosecutors never turned over a videotaped interview from a woman in 2003, that's what I was talking about, who claimed that his father had another life.
So what's the transcript then? Because there's also a transcript that was never put into evidence. What, like do you know
the financial dealings, I'm assuming. Yeah. They said the state has maintained prosecutors in 2006 never acted improperly. Prosecutors at the trial presented evidence to claim that the jeans had been washed, they said, and add that the testimony about Robert Pelley's life would not be admissible at a new trial due to it being hearsay. So even if this guy, he doesn't have a way out of this unless someone were to confess. That's actually really sad. I don't think he did it.
No, it doesn't sound like he did.
He just wanted to go to prom, bro. That actually sucks. That would... Because he had a whole life when he got arrested.
That'd be a bummer.
Yeah. But that's all. I'm sorry it was really short.
Yeah, I'd be kind of bummed out.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for Cooper's family. You're probably not going to listen to this episode because Cooper's not in it.
Next episode, we should get Natalie on. I think...
I think so, too. But I just feel like we shouldn't have 2 back.
That's what I was thinking, too, because I wanted her on this week. I'm like, no, we can't have 2 guest episodes, and they're going to start expecting it. They're not going to like us anymore.
Yeah. Well, coming up next week, special guest.
Also, hold on. I was looking at our analytics, and I was going to say something, but then I didn't want to, cut you off. Mm-hmm. We have people from Colombia now.
I know. I saw that yesterday.
I was like, Colombia, that's...
Wow. Who is listening to our podcast in Germany and Colombia?
Yeah. Okay. So we have 9... Okay, so we have United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Germany, and Colombia now.
Who's listening to us there?
I don't know.
How do people find us? Truly.
And, you can see, what part they're from. It's kind of cool.
We're in Colombia.
In Colombia, it is... Hold on, let me go back.
I want to know what episodes they listen to, because if they listen to one of the bad ones, then they're not going to listen to the rest of them.
I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Bogatadc.
Bodega?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not a speaker.
We're getting listens. We actually are doing pretty good.
Yeah, people are liking us sometimes.
Yeah. We have 2.2k Spotify impressions.
Canada, we have British Columbia and Ontario.
Mm-hmm. There was one, I can't remember which one. Black Dahlia and Gypsy Rose have a bunch. Lulu, always a fan favorite. Shanann is a popular one.
Dorothea is just killing the rest of them, but it's also been...
It's our worst one.
I wouldn't say the worst.
No, that's definitely not our worst one. The audio is real bad sometimes. But I think Lulu's my favorite one we've done. I'm surprised Greenbrier is at 44. Just kidding. Shanann has more than Greenbrier. But Shanann's audio isn't that good.
I know. Shanann's one that we, like, are going to have to redo eventually.
Yeah. I think I love Lulu's. I wish the Candy Montgomery episode was popular because that's my favorite case ever. It's so interesting. Yeah. Gypsy has bad audio too.
Hold on.
What?
This just in? 60% of our listeners are male?
Huh? What? What? Wait, that actually can't be right.
That doesn't make sense. Because my mom and all of her friends, unless, like, their Spotify accounts just, like,
No, it says female, 66, male, 24.
Mine says, hold on. Yeah, I'm, like, on our thing. It says, oh, this is Spotify only. Is your Spotify only?
Oh, no, mine's overall. That makes sense, because men use Spotify because it's easier.
I use Spotify.
She's a man.
Excuse me?
Is it raining?
Are you sure yours isn't Spotify only? One of ours isn't updated, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60% male is...
No,
Who?
I have Columbia on here.
See, no, I think yours is more accurate than mine. Because I don't have anyone for 60 plus. Okay, that makes me feel better because I'm like, why do we have all these men listening to our podcast? I don't want them here.
Yeah,
like,
no, this is definitely a woman's podcast.
This is definitely a woman's podcast.
But if you're a man and you're listening, please keep listening. We need to
Please
listen.
keep listening. Get your man
famous.
friends to listen, like, you know.
But not if you're grown man friends, because then grown men
That's
listening to
kinda
two teenage girls talk is kind of weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Actually, don't have your man friends. Get your woman friends to listen.
Yeah. But basically, wow, we're
doing good.
We peaked that day at 30 plays in one day.
See, normally you can tell when we release an episode because it'll, like, spike.
Yeah. Also, we have 54 Spotify followers. I thought we had 30 something.
Holy cow, yeah. April 30th, everyone was loving us.
I wish we could see a list of our followers.
Me.
Sorry, you can click off at this point. You've listened to more than 60 seconds, so if you don't want to hear us yap about our audience.
Yeah, I think that's about it, though.
Yeah. Please start commenting. I love when people comment.
I love when people comment.
Oh, can I tell them about my dream?
Yes.
Okay. This is good, guys. So, as you know, our first episode is Dorothea Puente. If you haven't gone and listened to it, go listen to it. But the other day I had a dream, and I was working, and, in my dream I was working. And so this family comes in, and the family is Cole and Dylan Sprouse, Stanley from The Office, and then there was an older lady who was like the mom. She's a really weird combination. Don't ask me why those are the people that are in my head, but those were the people in my head. And so I'm like following them around. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Cole and Dylan Sprouse, because I was like obsessed in like middle school or whatever. And I'm like following them around, and I'm like, wow, like this is so like, are you guys Cole and Dylan Sprouse? And they're like, yeah. So I take pictures with them, and I'm like, are you the guy from The Office? And he's like, yeah. And so I'm like, what are you guys doing here? And like, we're out celebrating. She just got out of jail, talking about the mom. And I'm like, oh wow, why would you want to come here? Like, she's like, I just really wanted to come here, and like, this is my job, right? And I'm like, oh cool. So then I hear someone call her Dorothea, and I'm like, oh guys, that's weird. Dorothea Puente, first episode of the podcast, whatever. So they leave, and this is kind of in a nutshell. And I look at my phone after they leave. Like, I'm in the front of my work. I'm looking at my phone, and I see one comment left on our first episode. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I click it. And, like, I don't know if we said this in the podcast or not, but, like, she made pies for her victims or something to poison them. And and we said that they were bad or whatever. And the comment said the pies were actually very good. My victims told me so. And the comment was left than no other than Dorothea Puente. Like, that was her Spotify name. Okay. And I was shocked. I was like, what is going on? Like, So I freak out. I start crying, right? And I cry in my sleep, like if I cry in my dreams. I woke up with tears running down my face. And I'm like, I need to call Maddie. So I'm like scrolling through my phone trying to find Maddie. And I kept calling my mom and it was stressing me out. Like I kept crying. And I finally call Maddie and I'm like, Maddie, oh my God, you'll never believe what happened. And I explained to her and I stop and I go, wait, like I stopped crying. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, she didn't. She's dead. And this is all just a dream. And then I woke up.
That part, it just makes you like, that's
Yeah.
so gross that you thought that in your dream.
It was really weird. And I woke up really freaked out. But yeah, okay, that's all for today.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Stay tuned for next week. I'm Wiley.
And I'm Maddie.
And it shouldn't happen again.
That was a really abrupt ending.